Okay, so you're hoping to wow them at that sociology lecturer interview. It's a chance to really,
Mm.
share your love for understanding society, help shape these, like, new thinkers.
It's a demanding field, but rewarding.
Definitely rewarding. But those interviews, right, they could be a bit nerve-wracking.
Oh, absolutely. You're on the spot. Have to showcase not just
All
knowledge.
right, not just, I memorized the textbook.
Exactly. I can inspire a room full of students to want to dive into this.
I love that. So how do we do it? Well, thankfully,
Preparation is key.
couldn't agree more. And that's where RoleCatcher comes in. Their career guide is amazing. Interview prep, materials, even AI to give you an edge.
It's about going beyond just answering the question. It's about, demonstrating that you're not just a sociologist,
Right.
but a sociologist who's passionate about teaching and mentoring.
Yes. It's like you're not just showing up, you're showing up with like this infectious enthusiasm, right?
Yeah.
So let's dive into some of these example interview questions. RoleCatcher gives us like a sneak peek, and it's making me a little sweaty just reading them.
Oh, the pressure is on, even just pretending.
Right. Okay. First one, it seems simple, but you know how these things go. Can you tell us about your experience teaching sociology?
So this is where you demonstrate those teaching skills, even if you haven't held a formal lecturer position.
Okay, because not everyone's coming straight from like another university setting, right?
Exactly. So have you been a TA, led study groups,
Yeah.
anything where you had to convey these concepts?
It's about drawing on any relevant experience, even if it's not a traditional classroom setting. What about for those just starting out, maybe haven't had the chance to like design a syllabus yet?
Great question. That's where you talk about transferable skills, right? Have they mentored others, given presentations, facilitated
Because
discussions?
those are all teaching skills, just
Right.
maybe not in a like formalized academic way.
Exactly. It's about communication, organization, engaging an audience. And this is where RoleCatcher's AI can be so helpful, by the way.
Oh, tell me more about that.
Well, you can input your past experiences, and it helps you reframe them.
Ooh, like a skills translator.
Yes, to match what this specific job is looking for.
That's so smart.
Yeah.
Okay, next question. This one feels a little, I don't know, like you really need to think before speaking.
Right.
How would you approach teaching a course on race and ethnicity?
Yes, absolutely. So you want to showcase your understanding of the complexities of how these concepts are socially constructed.
Because it's not just about, here's a list of facts.
No, not at all. It's about nuance and creating that space for open but respectful discussion. Sociology is all about critically examining the world, including our own assumptions.
And challenging those assumptions in a way that's like thought-provoking, not, shutting down conversation.
Precisely. And RoleCatcher's guide, it emphasizes this. You need to incorporate diverse perspective.
Which makes sense. So how do we actually do that? In a classroom setting, I mean,
Right. Sure. You could talk about assigning readings from a range of voices,
yeah,
different experiences, or interactive activities.
to get people talking and like really listening to each other.
Yes, dialogue is key.
It's about creating that space where everyone feels heard, but also challenged.
Absolutely. A safe space for difficult conversations.
Yes. Okay, moving on. This one I feel like lets you really geek out a bit. Can you describe your research interests and how they relate to sociology?
Yes. This is your time to shine. Talk about what excites you within the vast field of sociology. Social inequality, the digital divide, social movements.
Oh, and this is where, like, if you've got publications, conference presentations.
Yes, bring those up. Show them you're not just interested, you're actively contributing.
Like, I'm not just reading about it, I'm out there doing the research.
It's like, hey, I'm adding to this conversation, not just I'm observing it from the sidelines.
Exactly. Okay, next question. This one feels very of the moment. How would you incorporate current events and real-world examples into your sociology courses?
Because it's not just theory, right?
Right. It's like, how does what we're reading in the textbook, how does that play out in, like, the headlines today?
Exactly. Think about recent events, social inequality, political movements, cultural shifts, anything that's relevant.
Okay, so you're saying, like, don't just come in with a pre-planned lesson.
Well, you have your framework, sure, but
Be ready to pivot.
yes, because these things, they're happening in real time.
And students are going to have thoughts, feelings. You've got to be able to, like, navigate that.
And facilitate that discussion. Encourage critical thinking.
And different viewpoints, for sure.
It's about showing those connections, between
Yeah.
theory and lived experience.
Well, that's good. Okay. Assessment.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about it because it's part of teaching, but it can be tough. This question gets right to it. How do you approach assessing student learning in your sociology courses?
So much to unpack there. It's more than just, did they get an A on the midterm?
Right. Though I'm sure those are part of it.
Well, they might be. But how else do we gauge understanding? Essays, presentations, maybe a research project.
Even just like how they participate in class, right?
Exactly. Active engagement. And don't just think about the grade, but the feedback you give.
Ooh, good point.
Mm.
Because it's not just about you got this many points, but here's how to improve.
Yes. RoleCatcher's Career Guide, they emphasize that constructive feedback.
Which, honestly, that's a life skill, isn't it? Giving feedback well.
Absolutely. Okay, next question. This one's so crucial. Can you describe how you would incorporate diversity and inclusion into your sociology courses?
This feels like it's got to be more than just saying diversity is important.
Way more. It needs to be embedded into like the DNA of your course.
So when you're planning your syllabus,
Think about the readings. Are they representing different voices, guest speakers, case studies?
and not just like a token representation, but really showcasing a range of experiences.
Exactly. And even then, it's ongoing. How do you make sure everyone feels comfortable participating, especially with sensitive topics?
Yes, because you can't just assume everyone feels safe speaking up
Right. It takes work. Reflection on your part as the instructor.
to create that inclusive environment. Okay, this next question, it kind of builds on that idea. Can you describe your experience working with diverse student populations?
So this is where you show your empathy, your understanding.
Like you've been there, you get it.
Yes. Share examples. Maybe you adjusted your teaching style, or how did you create a welcoming classroom culture?
And if someone hasn't had formal teaching experience yet,
Think broadly. Anytime you interacted with people from diverse backgrounds, what did you learn?
because those experiences, they matter. Speaking of which, this is where I thought RoleCatcher's AI was cool.
Oh, how so?
Well, you can input those experiences, and it analyzes them, suggests how to frame them for different institutions.
That's incredible. So you're tailoring your message.
Right, but it's still your authentic self, just presented in a way that resonates. It's like having a PR team for your unique story, but, for academia.
I love that. Okay, shifting gears a bit here. Let's talk keeping up to date, because things move fast.
Right, especially in a field like sociology.
Exactly. One question RoleCatcher highlights is how do you stay current with developments in the field of sociology?
Because it's not like, we learn it once and it's done.
Yeah.
Society changes, so our understanding has to as well.
100%. So first and foremost, you've got to be reading those academic journals.
Shows you're in the loop,
Right.
not just relying on, old textbooks.
Exactly. But then go further. Conferences, workshops, that's where the cutting edge stuff is happening.
Networking, too, probably. Meeting other sociologists, hearing what they're working on.
Huge. And those professional organizations, like the American Sociological Association, they're gold mines for that.
Staying connected, being part of the conversation. Okay, ready for the final interview question in this deep dive?
Hit me with it.
How do you incorporate technology into your sociology courses? Because gone are the days of, just lecturing from a podium.
Oh, for sure. Technology opens up so much. Think about engagement, making it interactive.
No, I'm already imagining, data visualization tools to bring statistics to life. Or those virtual reality things, could you imagine? Simulating a social situation.
See, you get it. And podcasts, documentaries, those are powerful storytelling mediums, right? Bring those in.
It's about meeting students where they are, using the tools that make sense.
And remembering accessibility. Not everyone has equal access, so how do you address that?
Such a good point.
Yeah.
So, wow, we have covered a lot today. Skills, interview questions, even, the future of how sociology is taught.
It's been quite the deep dive.
It really has. But if I had to boil it all down to one thing, be authentic.
Yes. Let your passion shine through. This isn't just a job, it's a chance to make a difference.
And I love that.
Yeah.
Plus, don't forget, RoleCatcher has your back. Their AI can help you fine-tune your approach.
Highly recommend checking out their resources.
For sure. So, to all you aspiring sociology lecturers out there, good luck. Bring your whole selves to those interviews. Ask good questions, challenge those assumptions, and remember, the world needs your unique perspective. Who knows? Maybe someday you'll be the expert guiding someone else in their deep dive into, the fascinating world of sociology.